Go online or call 888-652-SIZE right now and get Turbo 13 with bar shakes and turbo boosters free.
Heartburn.
No one burns on my watch. Try Alka-Seltzer Ultra Strength Heartburn Relief Chews with more acid-fighting power than Tums chewing buttons.
Amazing. I have heartburn.
Ultra Strength from Alka-Seltzer. Enjoy the relief.
Judging immigration. Do the courts have too much power over the critical issue? Plus, MS-13, latest, shocking information you need to hear on Tucker Carlson Tonight.
I remember a time when great service was a given.
I'm at a time in my life where I want to do business with companies who do right by me.
The Hartford is the only auto insurance company voted one of the world's most ethical companies 9 times. And 96% of customers recommend the Hartford based on their claims experience. Join the millions of customers 50 or over who trust the Hartford. Call or visit AskTheHartford.com to learn more about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking, now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
We want to learn everything we can learn, and we're going to go, starting about 2 minutes after this meeting, we're going to work. Because this is a long-term situation that we have to solve. We'll solve it together. And you've gone through extraordinary pain, and we don't want others to go through the kind of pain that you've gone through.
Something important happened at the White House today at that listening session between President Trump and Americans impacted by school shootings. Anybody who was not moved by these people and their anger and their grief does not have a pulse. My next guest was there. He spoke of his daughter, Rachel Scott, the first victim of the Columbine shooting 19 years ago. And Mr. Scott joins me now. Thank you so much for being here tonight, sir. I know it's been a long day and probably a draining day, but I'm curious what it was like for you in that room and whether or not you left there feeling like this White House is going to take action.
Well, thank you, Martha. I want to just say that Dr. Graham was an inspiration in my life. And 19 years ago, I did an interview with him on Larry King on forgiveness. And shortly after that, I was able to speak to his entire staff. And it was such a privilege to sit in the chair at his desk that he had sat in for so many years. So the world lost a great man.
Thank you for sharing.
Today, in the meeting that we had today, I really believe that this shooting is awesome. But I think there's something different in the air right now, and it needs to be simple. But the problems aren't simple either. They're very complex. What we do, with Rachel's Challenge, our program in honor of my daughter, is we've been into over 20,000 schools across America over the last 19 years. And we reach between 1 million and 2 million students every single year. We've seen 7 school shootings prevented, and we see an average of about 3 suicides prevented every week. Because of Rachel's story and the trainings and the service clubs we create.
Yeah, that's remarkable, and I commend you for being able to turn your grief into action the way that you have and your family has. In terms of what you heard in there today, there was a lot of talk about arming people, perhaps retired police officers, members of the military who could serve at schools around the nation to keep us safer, to keep our children safer. There was, talk about work that involves restricting gun ownership. What do you think is the most likely? What did you see on the president's face in there in terms of how you felt he was moving on some of these?
I really believe the president wants to do the right thing, and his heart is really in this. I had the privilege of meeting with him before he became president, and I heard his heart at that time. A lot of people don't get to know the real man behind the face. And I believe that he is going to make some changes and make some positive changes. The changes need to go a lot deeper, in my opinion, than just the gun control issue or the metal detector issue or the physical features around the school. But, you know, our whole focus has been on the hearts of kids. And we have seen results. We have answers. And we work with some great partners. We work with Chuck Norris and his wife Gina have a program called Kickstart for Kids. We do all their character training programming. That program is awesome. We work with Dr. Jim Fay and his son Charles Fay with Love and Logic, with Dr. Robert Marzano Research, FlyTry, a number of organizations, and together we know some answers if we can just get the right people to listen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Scott. It's great to have you with us tonight, and we appreciate your story that we heard today and all that you're doing to help. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So joining me now, Chris Sharwalt, Fox News politics editor, Katie Pavlich, townhall.com news editor, and syndicated radio host Richard Fowler, both are Fox News contributors. Welcome to all of you. It was pretty amazing, I thought, this afternoon. I mean, I don't know anybody who was watching that who didn't stop and take all of that in. And there was a wide range of opinion, Chris, in terms of what the solutions were. And I do give the White House credit for, you know, allowing people to come in who had a lot of different opinions and to have their piece.
Well, the president's obviously going to take some flack for what he talked about arming teachers, et cetera, et cetera. But the big victory for the White House, not from everybody, he's going to take some, but not from everybody. The big victory for the White House in this, they took a chance. This could have gone really poorly. They took a chance, and after a week of trying to play catch up, they finally got control of the conversation and demonstrated engagement, which was the thing they needed to do most of all.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, they did take a risk. And I thought, you know, maybe this is going to be a very sort of canned conversation. Because obviously you want to put your arms around it when you're bringing something like this to the White House. But Katie, I felt like there were some very raw, very real moments in there and people who disagreed with each other, and the president was taking it in.
Yeah, Martha, we've been hearing for a long time that we all need to sit down and have a, quote, real conversation about these issues. And I think that's exactly what happened today. And whether you agree or disagree with some of the things that were said, I certainly agree with some of the things that were said. I agree with the president when he backs arming teachers, and there's a number of school districts around the country already doing that. I disagree with some of the things that were said, but the civility of the conversation and being able to listen to someone thoroughly make their points without their motives being impugned, without the noise of Twitter and 140 characters or 240, whatever it is now, without the media aspect of it filtering through some of these opinions, I think really got us to that point of listening to the ideas, and they won't all be implemented, they won't all pan out in terms of the facts and what can actually be done to change things in the future, but hearing from everybody in a calm, respectful, civil manner, from people who really are the closest to this issue, who are hurting in a way that we can't imagine, I thought was really important for the country to see.
You know, specifically, Richard, on the issue of having an armed guard, there was one armed guard in this school in Florida that had 3,200 kids in it. It obviously wasn't enough. But having retired police officers, retired military, spending time on these campuses, people who are, you know, the same people who are protecting it at airports and all kinds of other venues, even movie theaters, you know, shopping malls. Why can't our kids have the same kind of protection that we have when we go in these other places?
Well, I think that's a good question. I mean, I disagree with the president on arming teachers, and the Parkland committee is an interesting one. I grew up about 20 miles from and actually debated at Stoneman Douglas High School when I was a sophomore, and so this is very real for me. But I think the ideal of arming teachers is just not the solution.
What about, forget the teachers for a moment. What about having somebody on campus who is an armed guard with several armed guards?
I think we should. I mean, when I went to high school, we had an armed police officer there. I think increasing those numbers are good, but I think it's a tightrope here because you can make sure our kids are safe. At the same time, you don't want to expose your children to overarm them, standing in front of school buildings. I think you've got to balance because I think we started out this morning this show with Billy Graham talking about that there's so much hate and there's so much violence, and having these guns there represents that type of violence. I think if you listen to some of the people who lived through this, they talk about
I don't know too many kids who are afraid to go to the airport because there's some guys there who have guns. But Chris, let me get you, Chris. In terms of the president and what he's going to do, a lot of talk about AR-15s in there. That's a politically perilous topic for me, Chris.
Sure. Look, I don't think that we're going to see a federal ban on any particular kind of firearm come out of this right now. but it is heavily weighing down on Republicans at this moment, that their success in succeeding in blocking anything in the wake of Newtown, in the wake of Las Vegas, the inaction in the past, which was a pretty astonishing political victory, that they were able to stop the gun control measures and stop other things in the past. What they didn't do was act when they could have. And now you see this catch-up game where the administration is urging Congress to take action on these false stops, where you have the Cornyn legislation about clarifying the background check process. They should have acted before when they had the chance. Now they're in a hurry-scurry to try to catch up and do it, and they better, or they will pay a serious price this fall.
Yeah, there's also a measure that was put down that had to do with people who collect disability and are on the list of those who are mentally unfit, and whatever word you want to use. That is something that the president overturned early on in his presidency. And do you think, Katie, quickly, and Richard, that that's something that needs to be revisited quickly?
No, absolutely not. The president simply gave back millions of Social Security recipients their rights, and he should do it for veterans too. People who need help navigating bureaucracy and handling their financial affairs aren't deemed mentally unfit. They're not incapable of owning firearms and exercising their Second Amendment rights. So President
There
Trump
has to be a way to divide people who have violence in their background or have exhibited it on social media.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, there has to be a way to say to someone, you actually are not allowed to have a gun.
Sure, but the blanket and generalization of everyone who needs someone to
this affected 75,000 people. I'm going to give the last word to Richard.
Well, I think the one point we're missing in this segment is that the good book says the children shall lead us, and what we saw today, Martha, all across the state of Florida and all across this country was children leading this country in the right direction to make their school safer. They walked out in campus after campus after campus, and it was powerful to watch. And they have my solidarity. I'm really proud of them.
And no one should write off these kids as being, anything other than what they appear to be, I don't think. So, thanks, you guys. Great to see you all tonight. Thank you for being here. Thanks. So here's a question for you. Who answered the phone when concerned citizens called the FBI to warn them about the Florida shooter? Tonight, new scrutiny on the FBI call center. Where do these tips actually go? It is a small town in West Virginia. Why are we doing things this way? Ron Hosco served in the FBI for 30 years, and he joins us next.
He is a sick guy, and he should have been nabbed a number of times, frankly.
I thought I was managing my moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Then I realized something was missing. Me. My symptoms were keeping me from being there. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. And the majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission in as little as 4 weeks.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common. And if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores, don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts. Or it isn't. It's inspected by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians. Or it isn't. It's backed by an unlimited mileage warranty. Or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned sales event now through February 28th. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Do you have trouble falling asleep or wake up with a sore neck or headache? Then it's time you discovered MyPillow.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. 10 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I backed MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota. I personally guarantee that My Pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Call now or go to mypillow.com. Use this promo code to save over 50% on a MyPillow 4-pack with 2 premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Liberty Mutual saved us almost $800 when we switched our auto and home insurance.
With Liberty, we could afford a real babysitter instead of your brother. Oh, that's my robe.
Is it? When you switch to Liberty Mutual, you can save $782 on auto and home insurance and still get great coverage for you and your family. Call 1-844-252-1806 for a free quote today. You could save $782 when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Last year's ad campaign was a success for ChoiceHotels.com.
Bada book, bada boom.
This year, we're taking it up a notch.
So in this commercial, you see 2 travelers that come in with a glow around them, so people watching will be like, wow, maybe I'll glow too if I book direct at ChoiceHotels.com.
Who glows? Just say bada book, bada boom.
Nobody glows.
He gets it.
Always the lowest price, guaranteed. Book now at ChoiceHotels.com.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7 at Channel 115.
So when you pick up the phone and call for help with your computer, who answers the phone? Often that call gets routed halfway around the world, and oftentimes you don't really get an answer. So is something similar, but domestically, happening like that when you pick up the phone to give a tip to the FBI? Those calls get routed to a small town called Clarksburg, West Virginia, to a building there that is staffed by 150 employees. Trace Gallagher here with how this all plays out. Trace.
Martha, before 2012, FBI agents in each of the Bureau's 56 field offices around the world or the country would answer calls and emails about various tips. The information was vetted and then assessed on whether it warranted further investigation. The FBI admits handling those tips on the local level took more time, more workers, and invariably led to chasing down useless leads. But at least they got most of the information. So when the Bureau moved to a centralized tip line in 2012, former and current FBI agents made their concerns very clear, saying that having one primary call center added a layer of bureaucracy, and that tip line operators in West Virginia might not understand unique problems facing the various local communities. Experts say in hindsight that concern appears valid, because on January 5th, a person close to alleged school shooter Nicholas Cruz called the FBI tip line and provided specific information on his gun ownership, desire to kill people, disturbing social media posts, and erratic behavior. The FBI says the call should have been flagged as a potential threat to life and prompted an urgent investigation. Instead, the call was assessed at such a low priority, it was never even passed along to the Miami field office. The FBI is still trying to figure out why. It's even more baffling when you recall that in September of last year, the FBI got another tip from a man who saw a message on his YouTube channel from someone calling themselves Nicholas Cruz saying, quote, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." The tipster emailed a screenshot to the FBI, but the agency could never positively ID the person who made the comment. And those 2 tips were apparently never put together. And remember, back before the Boston bombing, the FBI got a tip from Russian authorities saying Tamerlan Tsarnaev was a terror threat. The FBI assessed that he was not, and didn't fully share the information with the Joint Terrorism Task Force in Boston. At the time, then FBI Director Robert Mueller acknowledged the information could have been handled better. Barbara.
Trace, thank you very much. Here now with more, Ron Hosko, former FBI Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigative Division, and he served in the FBI for 30 years. Ron, good to have you with us. Let me start with this. Why did the FBI make this change? Was it a question of saving money or resources? Why did they move all the tip center to West Virginia?
You know, Martha, I think in the post-9/11 world that we had, the Bureau was changing dramatically on a number of different fronts, shifting from criminal cases to counterterrorism, building up intelligence, building up a weapons of mass destruction directorate. And we were always looking for efficiencies, how to do something a little bit more economically. Clearly, some folks at the top of the organization in making this decision
thought that that was a better investment of money and time. As your Trace said, before this, there were complaint agents sitting duty in 56 field offices.
Do you agree that it was a good move, or was it a mistake?
You know, I don't know. What I think is that the inspection division, a division I used to be a part of the FBI, is out there looking at this situation, but I think they would benefit from a holistic look. Not only just this case, but to see, is there other critical information that's been, fallen in the cracks somewhere, and see, are we losing as much as we're gaining? These are, it's a shift from agents taking these complaints to support employees.
Sorry to jump in. Are the people who man these phones, are they real agents? Are they FBI agents, or are they call takers? Do they make the same money as FBI agents in the field, or are they paid less?
Yeah, I think what's going on in West Virginia is you have professional support personnel who are trained on how to do this, but they are not FBI agents. That's part of the economic, look at this process. They took it out of agents' hands. I did it many times myself, and shifted it to a professional support staff in West Virginia. Certainly, they are paid less. It's in an area of the country that's by and large economically depressed compared to a Washington, D.C. or New York. So there are probably economic reasons. But again, every time you lengthen a chain, every link, has its own weaknesses, and the weakest link sometimes breaks. They may see that here.
We're going to stay on this with your help. We need to find out exactly what happened here, and there needs to be accountability, and we need to fix whatever the issues are that can be fixed. So,
I agree.
Ron, thank you. Great to see you as always. So Jared Kushner's security clearance is under intense scrutiny, but when you hear about President Obama's top advisor, Ben Rhodes, it may raise some questions about that. We'll tell you why after this.
Diabetes can be a daily struggle, even if you're trying your best. Along with diet and exercise, Once Daily Toujeo may help you control your blood sugar. Get into a daily groove. From the makers of Lantus, Toujeo provides blood sugar lowering activity for 24 hours and beyond. Proven blood sugar control all day and all night, and significant A1C reduction. Toujeo is blood sugar in adults with diabetes. Insulin in 1 milliliter and standard insulin. Don't use Toujeo to treat diabetic ketoacidosis during episodes of low blood sugar or if you're allergic to insulin. Get medical help right away if you have a serious allergic reaction, such as body rash or trouble breathing. Don't use needles or share insulin pens.
you know, this is interesting. It came up, it's actually pulled from a John Podesta email. Let's put it up on the screen. This is from October 29, 08, so early on in the Obama administration. It says, we agree that it would not be worth pushing for Benjamin Rhodes to receive interim status. For your information, out of the approximately 187 people who have something that we've talked about before. You know, I thought we had exhausted everything about Ben Rhodes and President Obama, and every day there was something new. To the point about there are two things going on here. One, if we hadn't had the Rob Porter issue, if there hadn't been someone who was under FBI investigation for domestic abuse, and where the FBI had actually said, this seems credible to us, and then he was kept on, Jared Kushner would not be exposed at all right now. Things would be business as usual. The second point is that it's been rumored for a very long time that Chief of Staff John Kelly is not a fan of Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump's role here, and that they are really at odds. So I think that Kelly may be using this moment, even though he's out there saying, I don't think this will affect his portfolio, as a way maybe to really bring it to full again in the White House after the development of the court. Anybody's specific security clearance situation or go beyond the memo released last week. As I told Jared days ago, I have full confidence in his ability to continue performing his duties in his foreign policy portfolio, suggesting that he has the clearance that he needs to do what he's doing.
Sure. And, you know, when you read it, obviously, this is Washington. Everybody likes to sort of try to read the tea leaves. They try to get behind the scenes and get all the drama that's going on, behind the scenes at the White House. But at the end of the day, if you read it at face value, that statement that he made of a new policy in the wake of the Rob Porter debacle is a very smart statement, and it's a smart policy. And I don't think that I don't find much criticism for John Kelly.
No, I certainly wouldn't either. It's something that, frankly, he should have said when he started and was brought in to kind of right the ship. Just quickly, do you both think that John Kelly stays? Just about because I do.
Yeah, I think that probably the general has a whole lot more of the president's confidence than the wags around here in Washington would actually admit.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Good to see you. He loves his general. All right, coming up tonight, CNN ambushes a Trump supporter, accusing her of colluding with Russians. Have you seen this?
He misses.
This is something else. Watch.
Not Russians. Go with the Russians.
That looks like Russians.
I have nothing to do with the Russians.
Well, apparently you did.
This program is brought to you by Fisher Investments.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same. But while some push high-commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some advisors have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management.
When you look cold,
stuff happens.
Plus Maximum Strength Liquid Gels. I'm on the move all day long, and sometimes I don't eat the way I should. So I drink Boost.
Boost High Protein Cocoa Milk has 15 grams of protein to help maintain muscle and 26 essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D. Boost High Protein. Be up for it.
I cannot imagine managing my diabetes without my Dexcom.
This is the Dexcom G5 Mobile Continuous Glucose Monitoring System. A small wearable sensor measures your glucose every 5 minutes and sends the data to a Dexcom receiver.
Dexcom helps lower A1C and improves quality of life. If you're over 65 and you have diabetes, you should have a Dexcom.
If you get a Dexcom, you're going to be very glad that you did.
Visit DexcomNow.com to learn more.
This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, designed for easy drive. It's the 2018 TLX for $298 a month for well-qualified customers. This is your local Acura dealer too.
Every legislative session, a special interest lobbyists head to Sacramento. They roam the corridors of power, buying influence, and basically sticking it to the middle class, corporate welfare, liberal causes, and of course there's the public employee union, the biggest special interest of all, ready to clean out the bar. Join John Cox, because he has a plan to deal with the corrupting influence of the special interest. Conservative, Republican, John Cox for governor, 2018.
RVs and real estate donation. Toyota is bringing the Winter Games to Southern California.
Go, slow down.
Now, during Toyota's Go for Gold sales event, get an incredible $199 lease on an exciting new RAV4. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
This is a high-performing Acura RDX, designed for Southern California.
Lease the 2018 RDX for $298 a month for well-qualified customers. Visit your local Acura dealer today.
You say Russia, but I don't know. Maybe it was. I mean, it could be Russia, but it could also be China. It could also be lots of other people. It also could be somebody sitting on that bed that weighs 400 pounds, okay?
So 1 week after the Department of Justice announced indictments for 13 Russians for invading social media accounts to essentially slip into American groups and encourage them to stage rallies and engage in political activities, CNN tracked down one of the women who was involved in this so-called collusion simply by attending a rally. Watch.
BS. And please report that. I don't believe that. I know all the people that were with me, okay? They were at my meetings. They're all Trump supporters, okay?
But did you realize that you guys were in communication electronically with Russia?
Not me. I don't know.
You were posting stuff on the Facebook.
And so was all her bandits.
Some of the stuff that you were in charge of the Facebook account, right? You were posting and reposting almost word for word the information that was coming out of this Internet Research Agency in St. Petersburg.
No.
You don't believe that?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Here now, Guy Benson, political editor at TownHall.com and a Fox News contributor. Guy, I mean, you can't make this up. Before I went to a Trump rally with everybody I knew, with all my friends, and he's, interrogating her as if she was, some complicit spy.
Look, that particular CNN correspondent does some good work, but in this case, you're an experienced journalist, Martha. I'm sitting here, I'm watching that clip, I watched it earlier, I went to journalism school, I'm trying to figure out what is the news value of sending a reporter to a woman's house for what purpose? To say, well, you joined some group or republish some political content that came from a Russia troll farm
So you and your friends who supported Trump anyway went to this event, and therefore, what? I don't understand.
Well, I guess next they'll be showing up at Michael Moore's house, and everybody else who was part of this stuff.
Right, because people on the left got duped or got sucked into these Russian accounts who were just trying to stoke tensions and flames, did so successfully in some cases, not terribly successfully in most cases. And as you said, Michael Moore went to some rally that apparently the Russians were behind. Are they going to be barging into his house or knocking down his door saying, "Did you know that you were in cahoots with the Russians?" No, he hated Trump and wanted Trump to lose. Michael Moore was not, some Russian plant. That woman outside her house was not a Russian plant. No one believes that, and I just don't, for the life of me, understand why naming and shaming, and they named her, a private citizen, for just getting involved politically, unwittingly perhaps, involved with the Russian government, serves any journalistic purpose, but it has reportedly resulted in a bunch of threats by left-wing people to this lady who's simply engaged in the political process. This one's kind of bad.
I'm sure she did not deserve that, and whoever handed out that assignment, somebody should have said, "Wait, does this really make sense? What we're doing here?" Because that's any good reporter has the right to ask. Yeah,
I'm one of these people who believes that it's important to get to the bottom of what the Russians did in our election, and taking people away and journalists away from that task for this sort of adventure, to me, is odd.
Well put. Guy, thank you very much. Good to see you as always. So coming up next, a final thought on Reverend Billy Graham when we come back.
Applebee's handcrafted burgers. Any burger, just $7.99. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
I hated our bathtub, but who has time for a remodel? Not this family. And then there's the mess. Then I heard about Bathfitter. They came in and put a beautiful new bathtub right over our old one. Bathfitter also has seamless walls that provide a watertight fit. There's no mess, no demolition, and they get it done in as little as 1 day. Plus, they provide a lifetime guarantee. Thanks to Bathfitter, I have a bathtub I love.
Call today or learn more at bathfitter.com.
Don't we need that cable box to watch TV? No. Don't we need a rug? No. It just explodes in a high-pitched...
Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. No satellite needed.
Welcome back to the dealership where Mitch is trading in his 2-seater for a minivan.
Minivan? I hear it comes with an optional dad bod.
He promised his wife he'd get 10 grand for their trade.
No pressure.
And he's off.
He's got the speed.
He's on track.
He's up. Nothing can stop this guy.
Except that. Go ball.
Grab your diaper bag because Daddy just made a mess.
Get a fair trade-in for your car at Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
Lose weight and save big with Nutrisystem's President's Day sale. For a limited time, save $100 on every program, including new for 2018. Turbo 13.
What do I do? Say.
Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds with Nutrisystem.
I'm Chris and I lost 120 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I am